In 2019, Steven Soderbergh released a film on Netflix that felt like a mashup between Jerry Maguire, House of Cards, Ocean's 11, and Moneyball. Even though the movie scored a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and was directed by one of the most celebrated directors currently working in Hollywood, there's not much discussion of it online, and it seems like few people have seen it. This is a criminally underrated movie. Focusing on a sports agent and his client, the number one draft pick in the NBA, this drama is about the power dynamics between athletes and those that seek to control them, but also the dynamics between the young, talented, and inexperienced and those that seek to exploit them.
You think these fools, these rich white dudes, gonna let these sexiest sport fall by the wayside? Football is fun, but it don't sell sneakers. You can't even see the players half the time. Baseball, a whole lot of tradition. But in order to move merch and inspire rap lyrics, they need your services. Too much money at stake.
Starring Andre Holland, Zazie Beetz, Melvin Gregg, Zachary Quinto, and Bill Duke. The movie is called High Flying Bird, and it is a tight, 90-minute dialogue-driven drama about forcing people in power to act. The performances in this movie are next level, with Melvin Gregg in particular conveying an incredibly strong point of view in just a few scenes. Because there's no significant action set pieces, special effects, or opulent sets to lean on, this film wouldn't have worked without each of these actors putting so much into these characters. I should also mention that Steven Soderbergh, as always, does a great job weaving a narrative that has numerous complexities and subtexts without ever making the subject matter any heavier than it needs to be. The cinematography is interesting, breaking the 180 line and numerous other rules in pursuit of finding interesting perspectives for the characters. In some cases, it works really well, and in others, I have to wonder why they made the choices that they did. If you're into studying cinematography, I think there's a lot to dig into here. I recommend lacing your shoes as tight as you can if you sit down for this one. It moves very quickly through the story, and will likely leave you asking a few questions. I had to go back and watch it a second time to catch everything. But like the Ocean's movies that Soderbergh also directed, it's a fun rewatch. I think this movie fell through the cracks for a few reasons. First, I recall that the time between the trailer being released and the movie coming out on Netflix was pretty brief. Netflix didn't do themselves a lot of favors in the promotion department for this one, particularly as in 2019, they were still learning how to promote their mid or low budget movies. There's also the quirk of this entire movie being shot on an iPhone. In the late 2010s, Steven Soderbergh shot 2 major movies using an iPhone, seemingly just to prove that he could. While it was an interesting choice then, upon rewatching the movie, I found myself wishing that it had been made using cinema quality cameras. To me, High Flying Bird feels like Steven Soderbergh's take on Moneyball, but featuring the NBA instead of the MLB. While it doesn't quite reach the heights of that movie, I still think that more people ought to be talking about it, if for no other reason than its points about the crossover of race, politics, and sport.
We bring our young players out and we talk to them about the game and how it started. The reason there is a pro league is because we had a league of our own. Before that, it was good for us and for our community. We gave that up for more money.
For maximum enjoyment, watch this with a few people who have opinions on sports. You'll have plenty to talk about afterwards. Let me know in the comments if you've seen the movie, or if you're planning on seeing it. If this video performs well, I'll tell you about another underrated gem on Netflix, this time a sci-fi film.